Yo, 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 what is up, people? It is your boy Zane back with another banger video today, man. And today we got a video for you that has been requested over and over and over again in my YouTube comments. And that is the best agents you should pick up right now so you can rank up the fastest and the easiest. So TLDR, these are all going to be the best agents for ranking up. And do not fear because I got you. We're going to go through every single role. So don't worry, this isn't just for duelist players and for aim demons. And we're going to go over why these agents are so good for ranking up and how you should use them and abuse them to easily win your ranked games. Okay, let's stop the yappage and stop beating around the bush. Let's start it off with Duelist. In my opinion, if you're a really aggressive player and you like to take gunfights, you like to be the first person in, then go pick up Duelist. It is an insane role and it has a lot of carry potential in ranked. Now, the first Duelist we're going to be talking about, as you can already see, is Yoru. Yoru, in my opinion, is by far still, even after the nerfs, the best Duelist to play when you want to solo carry in ranked. Yoru has a special ability called I cannot let my teammates in no matter what. Now let me explain that to you. If you throw your TP over to A, you can legit go wherever you want now. If your teammates go to A, you can TP to them. If your teammates go mid, you can lurk up C, or you can go mid with them. And literally no matter what your team does, you're always going to be there to have an impact on the round. Let's say I take this fight C long, I notice my teammates are going A, boom, now I'm with my team in the blink of an eye. And Yoru is the only character in this game that gets to do that. When it comes to attacking with Yoru, it is very important that you learn the best TP spots. It is very important that you don't just TP out in the open like this, where you're open to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 angles at the same time. That is a terrible teleport. It is very important to learn the good TPs, like for example, TPing front sight like this, because then you're only open to these 2 angles. And that is literally the entire point of Duelist, is to drag these crosshairs away from main, so then your teammates can walk out and kill the guy. TPs like this are very, very important, and that is exactly what you need to learn if you want to become a good Yoru player. I've seen by far the most success with this agent when I've just been TPing front sight like a fucking maniac and just taking any gunfight I can take. I'll throw out my TP, I'll throw out my clone, throw my flash, and just TP and take any fight I can take. And it might sound very risky, but trust me, believe it or not, if you time this teleport right with your teammates walking out and with your clone coming out of main, the amount of free kills you can get is crazy. There's also Initiator util that's going to come in from your team. There's obviously going to be smokes down for your team, which is just going to make this even easier and make the kills even more free. And then after you made it here, you wait for your team to scale up, and then you say, I'm going to flash, bang, you fight backside with your team. And that's easy site take. It's never been easier. You click one button and you teleport on the site. It's crazy. But where Yoru really shines, in my opinion, is defense. Yoru has a crazy ability to be on every site at once. Let's take an extreme example like Haven that has 3 bomb sites. I could throw my teleport at the beginning of the round to C and play somewhere in A link and just play a fast rotate. So the second we get contact in A, I'll start moving over to A. If we get contact in mid and nothing on A, I'll move over to mid. And the second it looks like it could be a C hit, boom, I teleport over, I throw my teleport back. And now, guess what? If they come C, I'm already in a crazy off angle. This is legit a free kill. Always. Because the people that scale up from site are going to be worried about this angle and this angle and this angle. They won't be worried about the off angle back here. Like when you walk out like this, you're never going to clear this. You're always going to look to the side somewhere or look back plat. And this is always just one free kill that you can get. And then it is up to you to decide. Do you have a Sentinel with you? Do you have a flood smoke down? If that's the case, you can play the hold with your Sentinel. If not, you threw this TP earlier after you TP'd. So if you get this kill, you jiggle, you see there's a lot more. You get the fuck out of there. And now it's a 5v4 and it's post-plant and you can win the round with your team like that. You still have a flash, you still have your clone. Boom, Yoru is crazy when it comes to this stuff. Also on the retakes, if this is smoked off, clone, flash, fight out with your team. Yoru is insanely versatile as a character and you need to pick him up if you don't know what to play as a duelist. Okay, now moving on to the next agent, which you can probably already tell by the gloves I'm wearing, Jett. Everybody knows that Jett is a really good pick for ranked, but why do people keep saying Jett is a good pick for ranked? The best agents for ranked, in my opinion, are the agents that are always going to be useful. And with Jett, you have this really cool dash ability that lets you get into crazy off angles and go for crazy timings and get out like nothing ever happened. Also, the big thing in ranked is being unpredictable. And Jett is one of those agents where you can literally be the most unpredictable agent in the game. I could peek this, kill a guy, instantly updraft, and already be holding these short guys. And they will never expect me here. Get the kill, you can jump over, and now you have an off angle onto long. And drop down, you have your dash again, peek. Name an agent that can do something like that. I'll wait. Jett is the only character in the video game that can go for crazy plays like this and get away with it without being called a troll. So Jett's strength when it comes to defending is the amount of positions she can take and how quickly she can reposition and take a different angle where enemies don't expect you. When it comes to attacking, however, Jett is the best agent at doing what is most important as a duelist: drawing away enemy crosshairs. You low elo players need to understand that entering isn't about getting the kill. It is never about getting the kill. Entering is all about disrupting the enemy's crosshair placement and making them look away. Why is it so hard to hit a bomb site even though it's a 5v2? Because all the enemies have to do is legit look at one angle. But now, if there's a Jett smoke up here, Jett dash, what does the enemy naturally have to do now? He has to, oh shit, Jett dashed. And then he's like, oh fuck, wait, they're main, but Jett dashed. Oh fuck, oh fuck. And then they just die. That is exactly why having a duelist on your team that has a movement ability is so important. You need to be able to draw the enemy's crosshair away from the choke point. Yeah, if you want to pick up Jett for ranked, I recommend watching Jett VODs of high elo players and looking at what kind of angles they like to go for. These repositionings that I showed you here on A, where you peek, dash out, updraft, I didn't come up with this shit. You think this is something I just came up with? This is something that I stole from watching countless hours of pro VODs. This one in specific, I took from Alexander, the calm aim demon himself. And that's what I want you to do. Whenever you want to pick up an agent, look at high elo VODs and try to lock in while watching and write down what they're doing in what round and why they're doing it. And that way you can adapt it into your ranked games and pop off. For the next duelist, this might be a little bit of an underrated pick, but in my opinion, it's Waylay. Yo, was that transition cool? Come on, that was pretty cool. Now you're probably wondering why Waylay, Zane. Why exactly do you think Waylay is better for ranked than other agents? In my opinion, it is because Waylay has the same ability that Yoru has, where she can TP across a long distance of space and be in crazy unexpected angles. And if you remember what I told you, what I think is most important in ranked, it is to be unpredictable. Waylay is one of the only duelists next to Reyna that can walk out like this, and if she doesn't see anyone, take all of this space and then take a duel and still get out. Any other duelist in the game will die in this angle, unless you obviously hit nice shots. But I'm saying if you whiff here, for example, you can always still get out. It is literally risk-free unless you get greedy and you stay around for more fights and then you die. But at that point, it is your fault and you need to recognize that. And Waylay is one of the only characters that gets to do that, which is really what I want you to abuse, even on attack. Don't be afraid to walk up like this, and if you think you have a timing, oh, guess what? You do have a timing. You get to walk through, take all this space with no risk. If somebody's here, you're out. You're back with your team. You get to take all of this space with zero risk. The second it feels unsafe, just get the fuck out of there. And now you have the info that this is clear. Let's say there's nobody here, and then you don't have to TP back. And now you just wait here. And the enemies are gonna think, oh, there's no way somebody just mindlessly ran up garage, because that's suicide. But no, you're Waylay. For you, it is not suicide. For you, this is a good play, because you can always TP out. So then they're like, oh, okay, let me check garage. And you're already here in an off angle. Boom, dead. This is something not enough Waylay players abuse, in my opinion, being able to take space with barely any risk. So yeah, the number one tip I can give you when it comes to Waylay is try and get into unpredictable positions and really use your TP to its maximum capacity. Also, don't be afraid to stick around if you don't see an enemy. It is okay to leave your teammates behind a little bit if you think you have a crazy timing. This is ranked after all, not pro play. You need to trust your own comms more than your teammates' comms. If you think you can make the play that'll win the round, then go for that play and be 100% confident about it. One agent that obviously can't be ignored when it comes to playing Duelist is Reyna, because you can always chill in off angles like this. I felt like this was pretty obvious because, you know, everyone always says, yo, you need to play Reyna if you want to rank up. So I didn't want to make a whole section about it, but Reyna is still a really good pick if you feel like you just want to take gunfights and you want to go for crazy plays. You can hold off angles like these, get a kill, and dismiss all the way to backside, which with most agents you just can't do. Reyna is insanely good when it comes to playing unexpected angles, which is, again, exactly what I told you I think is most important if you want to frag out in ranked. Anyway, that's it for the Duelist segment. We're gonna move on to smokes now. Before we even get into agent specific things when it comes to playing smokes, the number one thing I want each and every single one of you smokes players to learn right now is flood smokes. I say this in every single one of my videos when it comes to ranking up. If you want to get better at smokes, learn flood smokes on every site. Flood smokes are basically smokes that you put on the site that give your teammates a crazy amount of space and give you the ability to flood out out and play for the site hold. Normally, if the smoke wasn't here, peeking this angle is insanely uncomfortable for your team because there could always be people here holding you. But if the flood smoke is down, now it feels way more comfortable to walk out and flood the site and play with your team and play angles like this and just hold the site together. You can also play around these smokes and play in these smokes and just dance around, go for picks, and just go for crazy plays. If you watch any high elo VODs, every single time there's a site execute, there will always be a flood smoke on the site. Now that we got that out of the way, as you can already see, my #1 pick when it comes to smokes is Omen. And that is simply because Omen is one of the smokers that is always gonna be useful. And I feel like if you're on smokes, it is very important that even if you're not feeling it and you're having a bad game, that you will always have some impact on the game. Because with Omen, not only do you have your smokes that last pretty long and that go insanely far distances, you also have this really cool, fun, and interactive paranoia ability that is totally not overtuned and should totally stay in the game. You have an undodgeable near sight, by the way, in your pocket. If I ever see one of you Omen players after a round and you still have your paranoia up, I swear to God, I will crash the fuck out all over you. I feel like most Omen players really don't understand how strong this ability really is. This is one of the most broken abilities even after the nerf, in my opinion. My #1 tip I can give you for Omen is learning to communicate your flashes with your teammates. Right here, yo, I have a flash for under heaven. I have a flash for under heaven. Go swing CT. Bang! Throw this. And for your teammates, these are now the freest kills in the world. This is also 15 meters, so the guy cannot see you. Even if you peek it from here, the guy cannot see you. You would have to be this close, 5 meters, for the guy to be able to see you. Start calming these flashes for your team. It is also fine to do it in like an angle like this. Oh, I'm flashing mid, swing top mid. You flash like this, everyone in this line is now fully blind and can't take a duel. And unless your teammates peek out, bang. You want to play Omen in a really interesting way that you wouldn't play most smokers. Omen is one of the only characters in the game that can play a spot like this and get out unscathed without having to get a kill. Reyna, in order to get out, she needs to get a kill. Jett, in order to get out, needs to waste her dash ability, which kind of makes her entire kit. Omen has 2 of these funny little teleports that are totally not overtuned at all, and it lets him get out of nearly every situation. It also lets you, let's say it once again, class, be unpredictable. You can take a fight like this, jump back, TP over here, and take the same fight from here. And the enemy just saw you here. You're all over the place and you're in the enemy's head, and they have no fucking idea how to deal with it. The exact same things I just told you about when it comes to defending also apply in attacking. There's 2 things that I feel like are very important when it comes to attacking with smokers. One of them is being unpredictable with your smokes. Of course, it's fine to just smoke it off the normal way, but if this stops working out and if you just can never get back sight for some reason, it is totally okay to throw a smoke like this and try to do something new. Just learn these different smokes. You can also smoke off bridge completely and have your Jett updraft and dash into the smoke and go for a fight back sight. It's just very important, in my opinion, to have a big arsenal of things that you can do, because if you only know one thing and that stops working, you're completely fucked for the rest of the game. One more thing when it comes to attacking as Omen is you need to understand that you're almost like a secondary duelist in a sense. If you've used your smokes like this and you use your flash, now it is your job to go in with your Jett and TP into a smoke, because you literally have used every single piece of utility that you have in your kit. So now you're basically just a killjoy turret, and you have this unique ability that you can teleport in with your Jett into her smokes, and you guys can take the duel together. And I've genuinely barely ever see any ranked teammates do this, but every single time I watch high elo gameplay or I watch pro gameplay, they always use Omen as almost like a secondary entry, and it is really, really strong, and you need to start abusing this on smokes because people will just never expect it. It is the exact same thing when it comes to this bridge TP. Yeah, Jett can dash in, but Omen can also jump teleport into the smoke like this. Make sure you don't fuck it up though, otherwise you will fall off the map and look really stupid. You really want to use this agent's strengths when it comes to his teleports and flashes to its maximum capacity. Learn different cool TPs that you can do and communicate that to your duelist so you guys can go in together and trade each other. Now for the next smoker, this might be a bit of a wild take in some people's opinion, but for me, it is Clove. Clove just has this weird thing about her that I feel like I can never do bad on her. Every time I pick Clove, I just pop off for some reason and I kill everybody. The #1 thing that I think is very important with Clove is to never autopilot and run to some random site. It is super important that you're somewhat towards the center of the map so you can actually smoke both sites quickly if your team needs it. Otherwise, it's literally almost like you have no smokes at all on your team. I also feel like most Clove players don't use her vulnerability the right way. If you use this on somebody, they're literally one shot to legit anything. So if you hear them coming out A, chuck your thing here and bang, 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 go for the spray down. The worst thing that can happen is nothing happens. And the best thing that can happen is you get a free kill with zero risk involved. I never want to see you dying with all your utility still up on this agent. It is super fine to just throw it into the smoke like this and go for like a spray kill and go for a spam kill. It is better than just leaving your utility there to rot for next fucking game. The next thing we're going to talk about when it comes to Clove is her C ability. It is completely overtuned, and I swear on everything, I don't see people use this enough, especially in low elo. People swear they need to wait until they're 1 HP to use this ability. If I get a kill on a side execute right here, you best believe, even if I'm full HP, I'm using this pick me up, taking the haste, and full sending it through the smoke. Because nobody ever expects how fast Clove can be with this ability. It is super hard to hit a Clove wide swinging you with her pick me up ability, because she just has so much movement speed that a lot of people don't expect it at all. I really need you to spam this ability off cooldown. If you think you're gonna take a duel soon, then use the ability, because it makes a 50-50 gunfight a 60-40 gunfight immediately, maybe even a 70-30 gunfight. And that is just by you clicking the button on your keyboard. Ranked is all about making the fights as easy as possible, and Clove's C ability lets you make a fight insanely easy. The last thing when it comes to this agent is her ulti. Whenever you have your ultimate available, I need you to communicate that to your teammates. As soon as you have Clove ulti, you go from being a smoker to being a straight up fucking Rambo sky ult. You run it down like crazy, take any fight that you can, boom, use your C ability, run it down, take fights, run it down backside, take this tool, and even if you die, guess what? I can't use that. You just press X and you're back in the fucking round. And you keep running it down like crazy. This is why people like Kane Zera are so good at Valorant, because they understand when it's okay to just run it down like a monkey. People in ranked don't understand this. They don't understand that Clove ulti is one of those ultis. The second you have it, I need you to instantly go use it. I need you to run it down and immediately use your ulti, because every single round that you play where you don't use your ultimate ability, you're essentially wasting ult orbs, because you could be getting more and more each round. At the start of the round, you go, yo guys, I have ult. Let me go in first. The round starts. You already have your smokes ready, and you just boom, send it. You might even pull your knife out and jump up. Take this gunfight, run it down. Pre-fire this. Run it down, run it down, run it down. Bang, bang, bang. And no one is ever going to expect these timings, because nobody is that stupid. No one's going to run it down like a monkey. But because you're on Clove, you're allowed to do that, because you have your ulti available. And guess what? Even if you die right here, oh, you can just smoke while you're dead, right? You can still smoke heaven and CT for your team while you're dead. Use this ulti to its maximum capacity and use it every round. Now, when it comes to my underrated pick, I feel like Brimstone is a really underrated smoker when it comes to ranked. Maybe not on this map. I've literally never seen Brimstone on this map. But let me just explain to you why. I feel like Brimstone is one of those agents that always has an impact. Even if you're the worst player in the world, you can always just learn molly lineups for your fucking spike plant, and you will always be able to delay the spike by a long time. The amount of games I've lost just because the enemy Brimstone, that is bottom fragging by the way, knew a couple of lineups and won like 3 rounds by himself is insane. If you have molly and ult with this character, it is basically a free round. You just plant the spike and then you can delay it with your ult and molly for like 10 to 15 seconds. It is crazy. You also basically have a Reyna ult every round with your stim beacon that also lets you swing really fast. You're also the character in the game that has the longest smokes, meaning the sight hits will feel insanely easy. The smokes are also really easy to place, because you legit just have a little iPad that you can press on and boom, there it goes. There are your smokes. It's legit unfuck-upable. I feel like this agent is insanely underrated, and all it takes is the tiniest amount of effort to learn 1 or 2 lineups per map. And hey, if you're too lazy to learn these lineups, then you just don't want it bad enough, and it is okay. If you're satisfied with mediocrity, then so be it. What the fuck? Okay. Well, moving on to Initiator. Okay, now when it comes to Initiator, let me just give you some general advice right off the bat. It is very important that no matter what Initiator you play, you go and take time to learn proper lineups. A lot of you people sit there and think wanting to get better is cringe. Oh, you're so cringe, you have a lineup for this? Hell yeah, I'm cringe and I have a lineup for that, because I want to get good and I want to make it out of this fucking low elo hood. Hello? Yes, I'll be cringe. I don't care. I want to be good at this game, and I'm going to take the time to sit here and learn lineups for every single site on the game. And guess what? A fade reveal like this is 10 times more likely to scan somebody than just throwing it on top of the roof and hoping and praying it scans somebody. You can make a massive difference in your games just by knowing a lineup. So don't sit there and think that you're a loser if you're practicing lineups and wanting to get better at the game. Quite the opposite, in my opinion. You are cool because you actually want to get good. There is nothing cooler in this world than being passionate about something and really wanting to make it, having a dream and wanting to get there and working towards it. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise and call you cringe for knowing a lineup. But yeah, starting off with Initiator, my personal favorite is Fade. The biggest reason why I think Fade is so good is because her kit is insanely versatile. You have so much info gathering that also deals as a decay on the enemy team. You want to take B main? No problem. Shit, I can dog it for you. Bam, right? You want to walk out B? No problem. I can dog that for you. Bang, bang, bang. You want to know if somebody's backside? No problem. I got that. You want to know if somebody's in this corner? I got that. Oh, nobody there. All right, let's go on site. It is crazy how much info you can get. And if you do know that somebody is somewhere, if Fade is just throwing a bunch of utility at you like this is no longer a 50-50 gunfight. Now you are insanely favored to win that duel. Also, if you're hitting somebody with your Fade C's, make sure to just spray them down like crazy because they're decayed. Their health is down, right? So you don't want to go for a stupid headshot for no reason. When the enemy is low HP, just aim for the body. Please, dear God. On attack, I feel it is most important to communicate your utility to your teammates. Yo, guys, I'm gonna reveal backside, okay? Let me know when you're ready to go out. They're like, okay, we're ready now. Okay, I'm revealing. 3, 2, 1. Go, 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 go. Bam. Always delay it about a second because you know damn well your teammates aren't going out the second you tell them to. And bang, that reveal lands. Boom. The enemies are scanned and now the fights on site become 30 times easier. And then don't forget to instantly run up and try to fight with your teammates. Don't just sit back, relax, and enjoy the movie. You are part of this team. You're part of this roster and you need to go and have impact in the round. Only throwing a reveal won't win you the round. What will win you the round is you playing off of your teammates and playing with them after you use your utility. When it comes to defending and Fade, I really like to play around my reveal and play around smokes. If the opponents smoke heaven, even in Immortal and Radiant lobbies, I get so many free kills by just throwing my reveal and then spraying them through the smoke. And I get 1 or 2 free kills every single time. And I do this multiple times around and it works every time. You could even take this up a notch by learning a lineup that goes on top of here, for example, that reveals everything and that is really hard to shoot. That way you might even get 3 kills off of just 1 reveal. Try to go for cheeky kills, communicate your utility to your team, and learn proper and the best ways to use your utility. How do you do that? You watch professional players and people that play your agent a lot and try to copy what they do and figure out why they do it. The next agent I feel can be insanely good in ranked is Sova. The only problem with Sova is that I feel he can be a bit map reliant sometimes in regards that he isn't super good on every map, but I still think you could legit one trick this agent on any map, and if you take time to learn lineups for good spots, even on bad maps, Sova can be really, really good. Now, why is Sova good for ranking up? Because he has such a crazy kit. Your ultimate is one of the best in the game when it comes to post plant and when it comes to getting a free kill. The second you see someone on the minimap, you can straight up just ult them, and when you're ulting them, look at your minimap because you can legit see where you're shooting it, and then you just aim the blue beam at them on the minimap. You don't even look at your monitor. All you're looking at is your minimap in the top left, and you just aim that blue beam on their icon and you'll get a kill. Don't worry. Your reveal is one of the hardest to break in the video game, right? Like a Sova dart that lands like this, like you need to flick up and then try to aim at that, and by the time you do that, it'll already have 1 scan off and you're just gonna get sprayed by an Odin through the wall or something by Brock. It's crazy. So when it comes to attacking, I feel it is very important to learn good darts that won't be insta broken by the enemy team. Also, make sure they're a bit versatile because if the enemy gets fucked by a dart once or twice, they'll start pre-aiming it and insta breaking it the second you shoot it. And the second that happens, you want to switch it up and use a different lineup. On defense, it is really important to play off of the info you get. I see so many Sova players like dart main like this, it scans nothing and then they just still chill here and just start chilling like Kaya the dog. Like, buddy, you will not get shocked the second you move. Trust me. You're allowed to rotate off of this information. If you throw your dart out like this and it scans nothing, knife out and start rotating. This is ranked. This isn't pro play. Faking in ranked is very, very, very uncommon. And even when it happens, then you just go back and retake as 5. Ranked is such a chaotic environment. If you have information that there's nobody A main at the start of the round, it is very likely they're just going to go either mid to A or just run it down B. And you want to be ready for that by either instantly running to link or instantly running through spawn, depending on what info your team got. The biggest mistake I see people make in ranked is not actually doing anything with the information that they have. And Sova is insanely good at gathering that information and re-clearing space. Let's say it's 30 seconds into the round and you still don't really know where the enemies are gonna go. All right, let me just drone main. Bang. Okay, I don't see anyone. Guys, there's nobody A. Nothing on A. Bam. What do you do with that information? You instantly shift up and you get into like a cool position. And now, guys, stack B. I have A. Stack B. And now the odds of you winning that round go up by like 10%, 15%, just because you decided to use your mic, use your utility, and actually do something with the information that you do have. My underrated pick when it comes to winning in ranked is KO. I feel like KO has a lot of potential, especially because he indirectly got buffed in the current patch. Every single flash in the game flashes for 2.5 seconds now. Meaning, KO's right click now flashes the exact same duration as his left click. Meaning, I do not want to see any of you donkeys throw flashes like this anymore. Just right click it. It does the exact same thing, just better. Also, try to learn one-way flashes like this, so you can fight with your flashes without getting blind. There's flashes like that on every single map. And I want you to go into a custom and look at positions and be like, wait, this could be one. Just throw it. Oh, it is one. Perfect. Let's go. And you just start using that stuff in ranked and see what works, what doesn't work, experiment about it. And that is the fun of Valorant. You don't just mindlessly Q comp like a donkey on a keyboard. You actually take your time and want to implement new stuff, want to learn new things, and then see how that works in an actual ranked game. And to me, that is a lot of fun. KO's knife is also an insane information gathering tool. And it disables the enemy. Meaning, these sites that become unhittable because there's a cipher on them. Oh, guess what? Throw your knife. Boom. You didn't scan cipher this round. Okay, next round, you're gonna throw it right here. Bang, cipher's in spawn. He's scanned. No util, run it down. Throw your molly. You can delay him from flooding out with his team. And then what? You can throw a flashback sight and fight with it. Or you just run up, right click it, and then fight. KO is an extremely self-sufficient initiator, which I feel is insanely important if you want to climb in solo queue. Because if you're playing ranked, you legit can't rely on any of these boosted apes to do anything with your utility, even if you tell them to 1,000,000 times. So truly try and use this new right-click buff to your advantage and play him almost like he's like a little duelist. You know, he's like a mini duelist clanker. Although I still do recommend you to learn a couple of lineups at least. To help you, KO's flashes go 25 meters exactly. So if you ping something and it says 25 meters, get a little bit closer, chuck it, and it'll always pop exactly on the corner and be insanely hard to dodge. Obviously, nowadays, you can always just right-click flashes and peek with them because they're now the same strength as a left-click. But I'm saying if you want to help your teammates out and flash for them, these flashes, even just flashes over the top like this, can be insanely strong. Because look how much this still blinds me. See? I'm still full blind. If you chuck a flash like this over main, it popped right here. Anybody that is sitting here got full flashed by this flash up there. You really want to try and use these abilities to their maximum potential. That is all Initiator is about. So study up on VODs, get good util usage, and even figure out some things on your own. It can be insanely fun to hop in a custom with a friend and try to figure out new abilities and new ways to use flashes or lineups that you've never thought about before. Anyway, that's it for Initiator. Now we're going to move on to the final step, which is Sentinels. Okay, funny thing, when I went to move on to Sentinels, I recorded literally 20 minutes of me yapping just for me to not even be recording. I just wasted like 30 minutes and then I raged so hard I just decided to like record it a day afterwards. So now maybe I sound different, maybe I look a bit different. It's because it's a whole different day and I woke up not that long ago. And I just finally want to get this section of the video done, man. Am I actually recording this time? Yeah, okay, thank God. Moving on to Sentinel. The number one like actual traditional Sentinel that I feel like is very good in ranked is Vice. Vice is so good because you can hold a lot of map control on attack, for example. Let's say we're playing Pearl and I put my wall on the A push. Now none of my teammates need to hold this, right? In the meantime, if my teammates want to go B, I can walk down mid at the start of the round and just hold all of this map control for my team. What this allows our team to do is scale up B long, and if the hit doesn't work out, we still have the ability to just walk back and go somewhere else. Why? Because I've held all of this neutral space for my team. If I was with them, then all of this map control wouldn't be ours anymore, and it would feel so awkward having to walk back and re-clear everything on the map, because enemies could literally be anywhere. But if you're playing something like this, you can hold both of the lurk positions, like art and double door. Maybe you even get rewarded with a free kill on defenders trying to get a bit over aggressive. And if the B hit does work out, you can always just late lurk through doors and kill these guys with a backstab. That is how you want to play Sentinel. You want to hold map control on the other side of the map so your teammates have something to fall back on if the hit doesn't work out. Which is why a lot of you people run it down B, then this gets smoked off, and then you almost feel kind of stuck and you have no idea where to go. It's because you have no map control and your brain realizes that, so it just feels stuck as fuck. So next time you're in situations like that, make sure one of your teammates sits on the other side of the map and holds map control, so you guys have something to fall back on. Vyze also has insanely strong post plant utility. In a post plant, if you chuck both of your thorns like this, the enemies literally can't retake for like a solid 8 seconds while your thorns are up. Which is kind of crazy if you think about it. You can legit single-handedly get like 5 to 8 seconds off of the spike defuse just by throwing this out and waiting for the enemies to want to retake and then instantly popping both thorns. And who knows, maybe you get lucky and somebody runs through. You might even get 1 or 2 free kills. When it comes to defending, this is where Vyze is at her strongest. You as Vyze need to understand that when you have a setup like this down, it is not your job to 1v5 on site. It is not your job to let the enemies come out and go for this 1v5 play and kill everybody. Your sole job as a Sentinel and as a Vyze especially is to stall so your dirty donkey boosted monkey teammates finally rotate over in time so they can help you on the site hit. Meaning, the second your wall gets tripped, you flash and peek with it, and then the second the wall goes down, you pop your thorns. Now, what does that do? That stalls at least 10 to 15 seconds off of the enemy's execute, and it'll give your teammates time to walk over, so then they can finally flood out here, and you guys can hold the site together as a team. And that is what most Sentinel players get wrong. They feel as though that they need to always hold 1v5 on the site, when in reality, it is your job to just stall as long as possible, maybe get a pick, and if you can't, then it's fine to run away from the site and just play for retake with your team. The second Sentinel I recommend you pick up, especially for ranked environment, is Chamber. The number one tip I can give you when it comes to playing Chamber on literally any map, on attack or on defense, is abuse the fact that Chamber can make gunfights insanely easy. Now, what do I mean by that? A gunfight like this is already pretty easy, right? What about now? How easy does it feel now? 10 times more easy, right? This fight is insanely easy. Oh, but now I don't have a long range weapon. Yes, you do. You have your headhunter. That is exactly the mindset I want you to get in when you play this agent. You have the arsenal at your disposal, yo. You could use any gun in the game and it'll work. Chamber has this crazy ability that you could go a build like this. Even on attack, you can just walk up with your op and peek these angles and take these gunfights and then always whip out your headhunter and go for more. And then you can even whip out your shorty and go for more. On attack, I also recommend you use your trip to hold one side of the map and then walk down the other side of the map and hold map control for your team. Especially with the op, contacting up like this is super unexpected, and the second your enemy makes one mistake and over peaks, they're dead immediately. Same concept applies for Chamber as it does for Vyze. Now chat, I'm truly curious, name an agent that can do this. You hold this at the start of the round, boom, get a long range pick, switch to your headhunter, medium range, boom, get a pick, TP out, get your shorty, boom, get a pick, headhunter, get a pick, swap to your op again, and bam. Name an agent that can do something like that. The only agent that might be able to do that is Jet when she has her ulti up. But Chamber can do this literally every round. With a Bucky, with a Judge, with an Op, with an Outlaw. Abuse these guns on this character. It is an insane waste to buy a rifle on Chamber. Because if you go Bucky and Headhunter, you now will have way more credits next round to save up towards an Operator. When playing this agent, I recommend playing in unexpected off angles and trying to be unpredictable with your TPs. And maybe putting your TP into a position where you can re-peek off of it. Let's say up here. Let's say I'm holding this angle. I peek, get one, and then I can always go for something crazy like this and re-peek and fight. You could even put your TP on here. TP out, fight, go back down, hold this angle, drop down, and then sit somewhere like this with your Bucky. And then if they start rushing you, boom, free kill, and then you try to go for more. Chamber is super versatile, and you will never find yourself in a situation where you feel like you don't have the right gun for the gunfight, which is insanely useful in ranked because it's such a chaotic environment. I recommend watching a lot of Chamber guides for the best setups and best TPs that you can use. Or also watching high elo Chamber players like ISOT or Fire and just kind of copy what they do. I'm gonna be honest, like they're insane. So if you just copy what they do, I swear you'll be in good hands. Now moving on to the next Sentinel. Okay, our final Sentinel of the video is going to be Vito. That doesn't mean that agents like Killjoy and Cypher are unplayable, but I feel like they don't really have that ranked flair to them, you know? Like they're good agents, don't get me wrong, but they don't really add to your ranked experience in my opinion. That doesn't mean you can't play them and you can't climb with them, but I feel like if you're looking for an agent that is designed for popping off in ranked, then Vito is going to give you the best bang for your buck. On defense, I feel like it is very important to play around your trophy system. If you throw your trophy system out into main early and take a gunfight, normally what enemies do to clear space like this is use utility. But because Vito has this funny ability, enemies can't do that anymore. The second the round starts, you throw that out there, you pop it, and now every gunfight you take is going to be a 50-50 gunfight. Why is that? Because they can't use utility because you have your ability next to you. So they're forced to peek into you, and that way you can just get 1 or 2 kills and get out. Obviously, you should go for stuff like this if you have somewhat confident aim, but even if you don't, playing aggressive is the first step to getting better at the game. And you guys know I love to preach unpredictability. So if you're sitting back here, normally the enemies would flood you out with utility, but they can't. So you can just hold a weird off angle like this, get a kill, get 2 kills, and then TP out. And now you have a new angle to repeak from, right? You take this off angle, get a kill, and TP out again. And now you can repeak from a 3rd angle within like 10 seconds. Vito is one of the only Sentinels, or one of the only agents, in fact, that can do stuff like this and get away with it. Because the enemies cannot flood you out with utility. I cannot stress this enough. You can play in the weirdest angle that normally would never work because you just get util dumped. But because you're playing Vito, you can't get util dumped as long as you time your trophy system right. On attack, I don't actually recommend that you lurk through mid alone. I recommend you throw down your trip and just let it sit there and then tell one of your teammates to go mid for you. And then when you walk up main with your team, you can use your trophy system either on the execute so the enemies can't util dump you while you're trying to run out, or you can use it in post plant after the spike has been planted. If the enemies try to retake, you can just kind of throw it on site and pop it. And now if the enemies try to use utility to retake this area, they literally can't. Also, make sure to always leave a teleporter in main, so you can always play an off angle on main and go for an aggressive kill. And normally I don't recommend doing this because you'll just die and not play for the spike. But with Vito, you can play like this, get a kill, and TP out. And now you can still play for the spike plan than play for time, which is crazy. Anyway, if you found this video useful or you had a good laugh watching it, I'm probably live on twitch.tv/ZaneFPS right now. You should totally check out the link at the top of the description and join the stream. Come say hi. Also, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and most importantly, make sure you do your homework. Peace.